my lovelies, and welcome back to the community lot. Today we are doing the penultimate section. This is going to be like an old style pub. I've got a very English vibe to this one. It feels very much like a pub that would be around where I live. So it's in this little section here next to the gym. It's got this lovely old wooden door, and again we're going with quite warm lighting, that kind of yellowy tone to it. So I'm just looking for like an old-fashioned kind of looking style, so some really nice wooden floor in here, and then the walls that look, the ones that look a little bit slightly, not to say grubby, but they look a little bit like they are kind of worn. And we get this really lovely pub kind of front. And a fireplace at the back. It's very common in a lot of the pubs that I've been to for there to be like a nice little fireplace around the back of it. I thought with the way that the pub front works, it might be quite nice to have like a little bit extra storage, just because this doesn't feel like it's built into a big thing. And you obviously want somewhere to put glasses and things. So I put a couple of bits of storage around the back there. I'm not entirely sure if they stay. And we also now get a section of trying to match any wood in The Sims 4, which we all know, a little bit difficult. So I've gone for my best guess at it. And then we're going to start looking at putting up some activities. So I've got a little dartboard. It's quite a long leading to the dartboard, and I think I moved that significantly because this starts off as a very long and thin, because I was thinking about using the section behind it for something else, but I move it into it pretty quickly to add in like toilets and maybe a little bit of a staff room, so I kind of rejig everything around a little bit. I've added some nice bar stools, and then we're going for some tables, which I kind of wanted to do something similar to what we had in the restaurant, and then I completely changed my mind and went for these big round tables, so you can get lots of chairs all around those. Moving everything around, doing lots of shuffling in this episode. There's going to be a lot of occasions where I put something down and we rearrange everything, because again this kind of flowed really organically with a lot of these builds. I had something on the TV like next to me, just watching it while I was building nice and casually. I've cut out quite a bit of the indecision, but not all of it, so you guys can see some of the process behind it. So what I was thinking next to the fireplace is like a little seating area. The way I've put it though is a little bit awkward, so I was looking at like putting like a sectional in there or a little booth or something, and I think this gets changed around when we extend out this part of the build into that other empty space up the top. But there is some playing around with additional booths, which I feel like has become a bit of a staple of this series, of me playing with a booth and hoping for the best, doing a lot of reversing and just finding a place to put it. And I think this is about the time that I thought, in terms of space, you definitely would want that extra space in there. It took me a long time to realise there's not going to be like toilets for this, because I can't go up because above us is the gym, and we can't go down because below us is the pool. So I was just looking for like a nice sign, so again doing a fire exit just to make it feel a little bit real. And then trying to look for a couple of like signages for outside, but I found these little chalkboard things for inside that are kind of like menus. So just playing around with one of these that I think could be a decent sign. I've kind of gone through as many as possible and then found ones with actual alcohol in there, which made a lot of sense. I think this is about the time as well that I find the bookshelf, the book one, that I then go and put on to the bookstore that I was talking about before. That's the one. So I had a little sign up in front of the bookshop because I couldn't find the book one, and then I found it in there. There's quite a bit of that during this season, during this series, where I was looking for a particular item, could not find it until I came back to record the next day, and then I could. So I swapped it out for this kind of horse-looking one, and I've put this like stone detail on the front. It just feels, that stone hanging thing, sorry, that horse hanging thing seemed a lot like the kind of thing we'd have in a pub in our area. So a couple of windows, because I realised I hadn't bothered with that. And then this nice like chalkboard kind of menu thing behind there. I know that the way I've set it up isn't really going to be able to do food, because I haven't given it like a kitchen or anything. But I've put little food bits out. Again, if I'm going with the narrative I'm going with, it was not entirely designed around realism. If they were owned by the same people that own the restaurant, it could be that this little pub and them have like a little agreement to have a certain amount of stuff prepared to maybe just do sort of snacks and things rather than main meals. So this is the start of extending it out and giving it a bit more space, and it makes so much of a difference, I think, to have just like a little bit extra space on the side. Adding in a few more tables, and then starting to look at adding in a toilet. And then I also think about a staff room. So I'd make a little corridor, which I think takes me a couple of goes to find the kind of design I'd want, because I'd made this very even, which meant that I either had to have a very small toilet or a very small staff room. Or a very small corridor. It just didn't feel right to have like that 1x3 kind of section in there. So get some lights on. And then again, I think I go for the cubicle doors and underestimate the size of the cubicle doors because they are quite large. And I have done with move objects and shuffled them closer together. I don't know if that affects how you can use them. So you might need to extend it out a little bit, and just added a door to it. I kind of liked the idea that the tile looked kind of old and like it hadn't been refurbished for a little while, but the walls had all been painted white. That they'd made an attempt to kind of spruce it up maybe a little bit. It feels to me like this could be quite a traditional place. So the cabinets don't necessarily look the most modern, and the mirrors are quite I won't say old-fashioned because that's not really fair, but they aren't like very modern like we have in some of the other bits of the building. And a little old-style radiator, because I do like putting that up there. I always forget about that, but it does sort of give a little bit of realism to some of this. Not that a lot of this is very realistic, but... And also the gameplay-wise, I know that this won't be the most realistic because you'll have to pick a particular lot type. And then we're just making a little staff room area, and I find a little carton of books that I go and put in the bookshop. I find sometimes when you're looking for something in the Sims catalogue, it's just impossible, but as soon as you're not looking for it, it just pops up straight away. I'm pretty sure in the back room here, I had in my mind that I wanted to look for a particular set of shelves, and I think what I end up doing is just going with something, and then what I do on the next part, on the last part, is I come back and because I found it again and I put it in the right way. And so I'm adding a little thing behind the bar which has got like drinks on it, and it just looks again like a bit more realistic. So I got rid of that storage that I put in, assuming that they'd store it in there somewhere. Find a till and go and put that places. This is why I didn't do the video tour, because I did quite a few changes while I was still building everything. So I've just kind of like, it's a bit hapdash, this staff room, if I'm honest. They have the same table and chairs. Oh no, I think I've changed the table to fit more in. And just like a few chairs for them to go sit. It's not the nicest of staff areas, but it is better than some of the people that work here that don't get it at all. So, positivity. So this is the storage unit that I was using, and I pile up a load of nice stuff and do the same trick I did in the toy store of kind of getting them into the right place with move objects on and then moving the shelving back on them. So this is coming towards the end of this part, and this pub will be nice and done. Do subscribe if you want to see the last part, because we're going to do something on the very, very top roof of this. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.